Hi folks, welcome back to the channel once again. Thank you very much for joining me again. You are always most welcome. Well, today, Matchbox March concludes. Oh, only been a little one this year, hasn't it? We only had a few new ones to look at. But everyone I've shown you in the last couple of weeks, I've never seen before, so that was the important thing. Those of you that want to see more Matchbox kits, just look back in my channel, just type in my name and then Matchbox and watch what comes up. You will be there for days and days and days reading and watching that stuff. But we've had a concentration on something that we haven't seen before, so that was the important thing, the focus for this year. Finishing off with the Matchbox Voodoo, the F-101F. This has been loaned to us by a good friend David, and it's one of the later generation issues. So this is, I believe this is after Lesney have gone. Yes, it is. I can tell straight away. I'm looking for a date. 1983. Yeah, this is when a lot of them were sort of reboxed and they changed the logos and things. Not so much the Matchbox logo, but more the style on the back. But this one is unusual because it did originally come with a tube of glue. It's still in there. Now this I have not opened. I haven't opened it at all. That's actually taped on that end, so we're going to open it at this end. But first, it's PK-411. Let's have a really good look at this back, because it gives us 3 options of Voodoo. And these were very much used around the time of the Vietnam War, of course. Excuse me, still battling the cough. So, Happy Hooligans, 178th Fighter Interceptor Squadron. North Dakota, Hector Field Fargo, North Dakota, there we go. So that's the first one, the Happy Hooligans, which is quite a nice scheme, isn't it? Second one, TRS Nevada Air Reno National Guard. So it isn't actually showing any that are actually physically in Vietnam. And then we've got the Canadians, we've got the Comox Air Base in Canada 1970. And that's the 409 Nighthawk Squadron, which looks quite nice. So we've got 3 good choices there. Excellent. So, I've got to tell you, this box has seen better days. It's not so bad on the front here. It's just where my hand is quite badly crushed, as you can probably see. Yes, like somebody sat on it, to be honest. This is picked up, I think, recently. I can't remember if it was eBay or some other option. What David has done, because he knows... Oh, we have got the tube of glue. Wow! I'm impressed. Okay. Oh. Jeez. CB Bags Limited. In relation to Stuart Baggs, the famous young guy that was on The Apprentice. Sadly, he's actually passed away now, hasn't he? He was called Baggs, wasn't he? Stuart Baggs, the brand. Look at this! Polystyrene cement! Look at the tip! Oh yes! So what you did, those younger amongst you won't know this, what you did is you broke this tip off here. You either cut it off or you broke it off with a pair of pliers. And then you had the most horrible gunk, which is what it will be, unless it's solidified. You'll have the most horrible gunky adhesive you have ever seen. Nothing like we use today. Really evil, yeah. I'm pleased that's still there, that's quite funny. I should just say that David, being aware, I think he wants to build this at some point, so he's bought himself some aftermarket decals. And they do look rather nice. However, that said, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get into them. Just bear with me, because I think we should see these. Because he's bought a nice set. Let's have a look. Let us see. It's very tight. Whose decals are these? Print scale. Oh. Right. I've changed my mind. We're not going to show those. Which might annoy David a little bit, but I don't think he may have realised where they came from. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. Anyway, the point of the story is you probably do need some aftermarket decals, because as you'll see here, yeah, these look past it. These look past it. Now they look like a quality new decal, but I'm not going to show you them because they come from a country that I'm not prepared to show products from at the moment, I'm afraid. Anyway, so this is what your standard ones would be like. Whether his new ones are actually replicating that, I'm not quite sure. They're actually different ones. Different ones, yeah. Anyway, so that's probably not going to be usable when you get a kit that's this old, you know. We won't worry about that. Let us have a look at the write-up. I'll zoom you back for this. So a little slurp of some orange juice. That's better. Right. The Voodoo was derived from an earlier McDonnell design, the XF-88. Only two which were built as prototypes. The original requirement being for a long-range bomber escort aircraft. As the escort mission became more urgent with combat experience in Korea, it was decided to redesign the XF-88 to increase its range and its endurance. Thus, a much more enlarged fuselage with Pratt & Whitney J57 engines was produced. Using the basic XF-58 wings as the F-101, in other words, not enough wing in my opinion, because I think they look very under-winged these, don't they? But anyway. Flight testing commenced in late 1954. Serious engine and aerodynamic problems which required considerable modification, together with the addition of complex electronic devices to aid the pilot's control, delayed the debut of the F-101, and squadrons only began to receive the machines in January of 1959. It's no wonder, really. Anyway, this has got, for me, I'm going to sound like I'm being a bit negative here, not about the kit, about the aircraft. To me, it smacks a little bit of Starfighter, this. It's like, what the hell were you thinking of? It doesn't look remotely sensible, really, does it, when you see its little tiny wings. The wings look to me like they are half the size they should be. But anyway, you've got this big sort of aircraft, phantom size, and you've got the little tiny stubby wings. Anyway, what do I know? It says here, by this time the mission was changed to an interceptor bomber destroyer. Talk about moving the goalposts, you know. The Royal Canadian Air Force acquired 56 of the F-101B machines during 1961 as the CF-101B. And in 1967-68 many aircraft were modified to reconnaissance machines, designated RF-101B. In 1970 the Canadian aircraft were exchanged for refurbished electronics and other refinements. Although not as manoeuvrable as desired for a fighter aircraft, it wouldn't be those little wings, would it? Somebody's really missed the point here. The Voodoo, with its exceptional acceleration and climb, provided a potent bomber destroyer in the interception role. Machines have been in service for over 20 years. Well, it's got a lot of power and tiny wings, so not much drag, which would, yes, it does what you'd expect. It's fast, great acceleration, but not very manoeuvrable for dogfighting, which it wouldn't be, would it? Because it hasn't got the wing area. Anyway, what do I know? What do I know? I just thought it always looked bizarre, just wrong somehow, just like the Starfighter to me, totally wrong. Let's have a look at here. We've got the call outs for all the decals. You can see the tiny stubby wings. See what I mean? It almost looks like a Tomcat that's had Skyhawk wings stuck on it in plan profile, you know. Then open it out a bit. You can see the other options here. So obviously those are only for these decals, which aren't getting used anyway. So we shall. And now I see we've gone back to the sort of more landscape style instructions, which I do prefer, if I'm honest. Here we go then. So. Right. We've got obviously a pilot and a navigator on these. Back seater. So we've got a cockpit tub consisting of both of those. Fairly conventional fuselage where it goes together side by side. Putting your engines in. I'm sure this is going to be better looking engines than we saw on that Fiat Air Italia thing. the G91. You've got your gear going together here, and then you're going to put your top fuselage together with your bottom fuselage. And then here we've got some different options, including a refueling probe on one for the Canadian version, which is quite interesting. Or we've got some sort of a sensor on the North Dakota version, different variants, quite interesting. Nice to see options like that on a kit like this, you know, at this age. Then you're building up your tailplane, tanks going in, you've got your wings coming on, which it looks like the wings are in one piece, is it? Oh, that's a bit disappointing. I thought they'd be in two pieces. No, they appear to be in one. Yeah, all one piece. Okay, well, we'll see what that's like when we get to the plastic. Canopy, you've got options with the canopy. It looks like you've got some nice ladders. So there's some nice things on it. It's got double ladders, you know. So this is a Red Range kit, isn't it? Technically it's a Red Range, I think. Yeah, Red Range. So it's going to be 3 colours. You do get little extras like things like ladders. Cockpit open or closed, canopy I should say. And then you've got your tanks going on underneath, which go in like a ventral pylon, or a twin ventral pylon. And yeah, you've got your gear and doors going in, that's it really. But a much more extensive small parts paint guard, as you can see. With all your gear and your ladders and what's that, the air brakes, yeah. Yeah, it does look quite good actually. I forgot to mention the air brakes. You've got that sophisticated air brake system there. Quite an interesting aircraft, I don't know what it is, I just don't like this idea that these aircraft have got hardly any wing, it just seems odd. I'm going to start with the clear parts, which look actually rather good for their age, to be fair. Here we go. Almost got a Tomcat look about it, this, hasn't it? Especially the front windscreen. Well, Phantom-like is... yes. That's what it is. It's a Phantom likeness, isn't it? Rather than Tomcat, I think. Yeah, you can see that sort of Phantom design of front windscreen. A little bit Phantom-like, isn't it? Okay, that's that. We do have a loose part here that's Rogue, which I think I mentioned once before. It's one of the tail planes. Put that to one side. Then we've got, there's a lot of dark plastic in this kit, it's got to be said, it's all fairly dark. So then we've got our starboard side. We've got some raised panel lines here. Yeah, raised, quite a lot of raised panel lines, which I don't really like, if I'm honest. Might mark it down for that a little bit if I'm fair. Yeah, it's a lot of raised panel lines, not the best, not the best. But yes, it's a most remarkable plane. It's not a small aircraft, it's a big old bus. You've got your air brakes covers there, and then you've got your rudder here. But, yeah, nicely formed. That one. Then we've got the grey parts. This is where it surprised me, because you ended up with a wing that was just one piece. And it's thick, it is quite thick, that wing. Yeah, it's quite nicely done, in fairness. Another one that's got strakes on it, another sign of bad aerodynamics, yeah. That's that is because with such a small wing, the air will just bleed off it at low speed. Put the strakes on to be a flow modifier to stop the air escaping over the spilling over the edge of the wing. Yeah, so that's it, that's the wing, that's the top, that's the bottom. And then you've got your ailerons there, ailerons and flaps. Sorry, just ailerons, aren't they? Ailerons for there. A little bit of scuffing has gone on here, that's just the age of the kit in the box, I guess. It's one of those that should really be in a bag, this, I think. But nicely formed parts, you'll see there's no flash at all, not like Airfix of that era. And then last but not least, we have got our weapons sprue. I say weapons, it's actually all the ancillaries. So we've got these two rather nice crew ladders. good, aren't they? Cockpit tub here. Crew here with the seats. We've got the engines at the back here. And we've got our tanks there. Not the best colour for the tanks, I don't think, but there we go. And all your small parts, gear legs, etc., actuators for the speed brakes are all there. Well, what do we think then? Yes, I'm a bit disappointed about the race panel lines, if I'm honest. That's kind of put me off a little bit. Which is, again, you can see that what was Matchbox changed completely in '83, and they started going back to things like race panel lines when they previously had been doing it a little bit better than that, I think. So yeah, I'm going to knock it a little bit off of that. We're going to give it a corrected, time corrected for 1983. I think it's probably an 8 to 8.5 out of 10, really. Put in David's new decals, the ethics of which I'm not so sure about. I'm not going to say any more than that. He'll know what I mean. I'll probably inform him in the meantime, because I'm not sure he realises what he has bought there. But yeah, I think 8 out of 10 I think is fair. Not Matchbox's finest hour. This is not true Matchbox. It's not Lesney. This is the Universal, what they call Universal Toy Company, based in Macau, that were owning them at the time, and they weren't really the same company that we'd all got so sort of fallen in love with really previously. I'm having so much trouble here. The box is a funny shape, but I think if we're going that way we'll be alright. There we go. That's it. It says. Or has it? No, he hasn't. Go that way. I think we got it. Pretty much. Didn't help, we've got a malformed box at the other end as well. Yes. Interesting. Nice artwork though, very nice artwork. 8 out of 10. That's where I'm at. Yeah, not the finest hour of Matchbox, that one, I'm afraid. Sorry, David. Hope you'll give me a better rating than that and give me 10 out of 10 though. Oh, come on. But it's nice to see these older kits, isn't it? But you can see it's always difficult when you're looking back at something that's 40 odd years old, because they do get scuffed and damaged, and you know the box gets crushed and it's not quite the same. And this is why I've got this collection. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but that's why I've got this collection of Matchbox, where I went out of my way to try and collect absolutely pristine examples. And it's not easy. You know, I got several that came delivered to me that were not what I thought they were going to be. And these are the ones I built, basically. But most of them are really mint. And that's the trick, it's trying to catch one that is in that condition. It's not easy at all. I mean, you go to shows and it's very seldom that they're really mint these days. If you know, anybody that's hiking around, you know, 60 boxes of kits like that, from show to show to show, it's never going to be in mint condition, is it? Whereas someone like myself, and there's many of you out there as well, that are collecting them and revering them, and they're in a very special place where they're not getting any light or heat or damp, they're not being moved, they're not being crushed, they're bound to be kept in better condition, of course. And that's true of any kit. Anyway, thank you to David for sharing these Matchbox kits that I hadn't seen before. I mean, actually, I'm not sure about the colour choices that they went for there. Let's show it on the side. I mean, you know, this is Matchbox's fault, and probably original Matchbox as well. Why do they choose some of these wacky colour choices? You can see that it's white, so why have they gone for that choice? Why didn't they go for white for the main fuselage? That I don't understand. In 3 colours, yeah, 3 bad colours I'd say. It should say in 3 stupid colours. This is why some people didn't like them. I can kind of get it, especially when they made silly choices. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, thanks today for loading it to us. We enjoyed looking at it. All of us, I'm sure you've found it interesting. And that's it for now. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, stay well, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and look forward to seeing you all in the very near future. And in the meantime, thanks a lot, and bye for now.